Well, hello. It's Monday. And you know what that means. It's time for Mumamo, which stands for Mutants and Masterminds Monday. We're a weekly program that comes to you every Monday, nearly, close enough, generally speaking, to talk about the world's only superhero TTRPG, Mutants and Masterminds. Now, I've recently been challenged on the notion that we're the only superhero TTRPG known to man, but I've yet to have anybody prove me wrong.
On anything.
On anything. I'll also say we did start a couple minutes early. Don't get used to it. The 2-minute bonus for everybody in the chat. Hey, chat,
Right.
you can hear me, right?
I think you've shocked them all into silence. Oh, there we go.
No. Hey, Mike Sullivan's here, Devious, and we got Tempo in talking about Swords of the Shadow Planet, as of course, because why not?
Sure.
Pook is here as well.
Because there isn't a separate stream for that, so.
I know. He's so excited about it, he's got to cross the streams. Hey, today, we're, the best thing about Mumamo, and arguably the best thing about your Monday, is being able to hang out with these two fine fellas. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing good.
Great.
Good. So today's wild and woolly topic, it's as if from the mind of a madman. Multi-GM games.
Yes.
We were talking earlier, we kind of have a little pre-chat, a pre-show chat, if you will. And Steve said now we're, the new trend for Mutants and Masterminds is one player and 20 GMs or something,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What is a multi-GM game? And why?
It's any game that involves more than one game master.
Oh,
exactly.
Seems simple.
Because some people are silly and can't rest on their laurels.
Absolutely, yeah. So basically, you're the silly one here. So it's actually quite fun. You and I talked some months ago, or years ago, actually, about the idea of this interdimensional cross rift kind of thing, and it sounded really exciting. And you pulled it off with multiple tables. How many people total?
I've done it 3 times now.
Yeah.
I guess this was my 4th time is coming up, but at Origins we've done it for 35 players with 6 game masters.
35 players and 6 game masters. Okay, go for it.
I'd say that's a specific instance of a multi-GM game where it's one big sort of cosmic event situation. There are other times you might have multiple game masters in one games for something like a West Marches campaign, or if you and another game master want to trade off responsibilities between sessions, so you get the chance to play as well, and you're not responsible for everybody's fun at the storytelling level.
Right. Hey, Alex, for folks who aren't familiar, you want to explain a bit about what the West Marches is?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, so West Marches it's an interesting style of campaign where the player characters aren't necessarily locked in place for any one game master and any one story. You can bring your characters from one game to another game master's table, and they save their progress between adventures, and they can level up, they can gain treasure that they could take on to other adventures and things like that. It's a really cool way to build sort of a living campaign world where your player character isn't necessarily stuck in any one place. You can bring them to a bunch of different stories, a bunch of different events.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Desmond. Sorry, I was looking at looks like Alex, your camera might be trying to short out on you or do something weird.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, it's a built-in camera, so I'm switching its mode to see if that works.
Gotcha. But okay, so I love all this, and here's the thing: there may be people in chat saying, "But why? Why would I need to care about this?" And here's why: it's an exercise in exploring uncharted territory for Mutants and Masterminds. Different ways to play, different ways to engage, different ways to run events, and I will say that there will come a time that you will, let's say, get an opportunity to go through a top-notch training on how to be a GM, or you'll support an event where you'll find yourself sitting next to Alex, and Alex will say, "Listen, I need another GM. You're gonna have to help me." Or you just might, get whatever Alex has got, and he may by transmission make you want to run an event like this. There's a million reasons, and I think talking about the nuts and bolts of it, the soup to nuts of it, if you will,
Indeed.
Yes.
will kind of open up some. My hope is open up some creative channels, some ideas, some thinking, some things that might inspire the community to do other weird stuff with Mutants and Masterminds, because we like that.
Sure.
Yeah. And I would say the two main reasons to indulge in this kind of chicanery is for spectacle is the one big thing
Certainly.
Sure.
that I'm a huge fan of. And then community building. I think those are the two big aspects, the two big attractors for running a multi-GM game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I-
And it's such a. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, I was going to say, I note that Mastermind DePuc points out that multiple game masters is the setup they have over on the Freedom City Discord setup.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are many practical applications for this, and if you haven't quite wrapped your mind around it by the end of it, I'm going to tell you, you're going to be excited. You're going to want to run something like this on your own.
I think it's interesting the Freedom City Discord approach to it, and a lot of what Alex was talking about of the sort of shared universe approach to multiple game masters, where the GMs have their own adventures and their own even perhaps campaigns, but they all take place within the same setting. So there's that potential for connection and crossover and the like, and having the events of one campaign bleed over into the other. And that's really pretty like superhero comic books.
Right.
Every character has, or team has their own comic and their own creative team and the like, but they all exist in this shared context.
I love it. Yeah. Is it Danielle or is that Daniel? I'm not sure.
Danielle.
That's Danielle. I thought it was Danielle. But, Danielle says, plus
Yes.
you can show off your dice to more people.
Exactly.
If you're going to go to all the trouble of collecting the thousands of dice that you've got in some kind of cup or something.
Barrel.
Yeah, exactly. Barrel of dice. Paul says it's like one of those 1940s musicals. Oh, no. Yes. The star's just been eaten by a mutant piranha. The show must go on. That's right. I like
Right.
that.
You're
Do we know
elected.
where the term West Marches came from? Is it West Marches like we're marching, or it's marshes like it's swampland?
March is like the idea of a borderland or a march. It's named after the campaign setting of the person who developed the idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
And originally they did it for like their group of players because they had trouble with scheduling, which is the ultimate death of all tabletop role-playing games.
Indeed.
And trying to come up with some kind of modular system that they could plug player characters in who were available at the time. And it's sort of grown to this idea that it's a bigger party at that point.
Right. And that too is an interesting point about multiple game masters is you could set up your M&M game with a, big team of heroes, unlimited group or a legion, say, of characters, where, every player character has, even multiple characters to pick from. Every player has multiple characters to pick from. And whoever shows up that week, you pick somebody to be game master. Everybody decides which of their characters is available, and you go. And it could be essentially, Justice League Unlimited episodes every game.
Super fun. I like this idea too. Gene brings up each GM could make their own villain that the heroes face. It sort of reminds me of like, Mutants and Masterminds potluck. Bring your own villain.
Bring your own villain. Exactly.
All right. Well, let's talk about the mechanics of it, Alex, because I'm imagining that you don't just sort of plop down some stuff and say, all right, everybody, let's go. Like there's some work.
Yeah, there's there's some considerations to take in. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things to. This is kind of also an interesting marriage of what I do over on the Untold Stories project, where we have 7 superhero games that are all interconnected in the same version of Earth Prime. So there's a lot of pre-work that has to go into deciding how everything gets allocated and who gets what, basically. I have a big spreadsheet of all the Earth Prime villains. That and what their status is in our shared universe, so that if somebody has a game that they want to run and they want to know what's up with this character, they can go on the spreadsheet and they can look, oh, that's what this character's up to,
And
or
that's
this
in
is their
your
last
universe, right?
appearance.
You define that by
Yeah.
kind of your. You got it.
Yeah, it's like the regular Earth Prime, but Daedalus has a son who's trying to kill him from Hades.
I like it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so you figure out who are the game masters, what is the procedure for becoming a game master in the setting. Is it an interview? Is it an audition? Is it, have you played with this person for a while and you want to see what they can do as a game master? Do you just need somebody else to take on some of the responsibilities and you trust them? Yeah, and then coming up with shared ways for how player characters work. What house rules do we all agree to adopt to make everything considerate? And how do we track changes in characters from session to session?
And how do you do that?
How do you? Yeah, that's a great question.
Not very efficiently at the moment. There's probably better ways we could be doing it. But our system's a little bit different than a traditional West March is, because most of the parties stay together. So most of the player characters adventure with the same player characters and with the same game masters.
Right.
But when somebody gets loaned out, or if a character shows up in one of the other games, there are basic etiquette things like, please don't maim any of the PCs that don't belong in your regular game.
Right.
And I don't always obey this. Like, I accidentally gave one of the characters a shark sidekick that the game master in the other group's going to have to deal with. Because they bonded with one of Mama Kiger's little sisters. And
gross.
I decided in that moment that Mama Kiger's sisters imprint on the first person they see. So it's usually Mama Kiger. But
I see. So it could be someone else. I like it. Well, that's fun. That is really fun. Is there a mechanism that you build into the, like a challenge sequence or something that establishes the portal that moves the person from one table to the other?
Not necessarily. It's more, we're all in the same universe, so if it makes sense that this character is here, they're here. And by it makes sense, there's a lot of leeway because we've dealt with multiverse stuff. We've dealt with, most recently, Toon had access to the Axiom Stone and turned all of Farside City into a televised death game and pulled some heroes from Earth and reconstituted some heroes from Earth as members of the game. It helps that a lot of the players I have played multiple of the player characters, so there are moments where somebody could be talking to themselves as 2 of their characters or 3 of their characters if you're unlucky like Calvin.
Alex,
Calvin does manage to get into every actual play,
right.
Go ahead, Steve.
Do you find it's a challenge keeping the timing in sync between the different campaigns when time can pass very quickly or very slowly depending on how the adventure is progressing?
Yes. It's definitely something to take into consideration. We operate in seasons is how we think of it. So I try basically to say this season of this show will happen over this time period. You have that wiggle room, whatever you need to do in that space to make that story happen. And if it winds up that the 2 games bump up against each other and we're not sure how the time goes, it defaults to whatever story is being crossed over into. So whatever the primary story is being interacted with will go on their timetable.
It's a good guideline.
Yeah, so we do have crossovers and the like that happen from time to time, and there's a lot of pre-planning behind the scenes between the game masters who work at USP to talk about where are the crossovers that we want to do and how can we make sure that both of our games are in a place where we could take a break to crossover and then separate back out.
Mhm.
Now,
The Arrowverse has been a big inspiration for me personally, just from a superhero perspective, in the way that they do their crossovers.
Yep.
And kind of the way that they compartmentalize everything. So, like, Arrow is the vigilante show, and Flash is the metahuman show, and Supergirl is the alien show, and Legends of Tomorrow is my show.
Right.
Your
So
chat talking
there's
about how Calvin is going to be playing all of the people from the Bowverse.
Yep.
Summoned, he appears.
Yeah, exactly. Just as you would expect. Yeah.
Yeah, so it helps having those sort of nested areas for the game masters. Like, this is the kind of story I want to tell.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Stormer GM, and we have our Magical Girls show GM, and then I do Freedom League Dark, which is kind of the Justice League Dark equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
So we all have our niche. So it means that there's not as much overlap naturally. We have to come up with means of, like, reasons for the characters to cross over. So it helps keep everybody sort of in their lane.
Yeah.
This is a great question. Devious asks, do you share a chat room or have regular meetings to coordinate? How do you handle that part?
So yeah, we do have a Discord with the crew section where we talk about stuff, and we used to meet every other week. We've gotten to the point where we can do once a month or once a quarter to talk about what's coming up ahead. And we're coming to the conclusion of the 3rd edition stuff. We're coming up to the event horizon portion of the story. So once we're done with that, we'll see what happens. When we come back with 4th edition, I might come up with some new processes to make everything a little more efficient.
So codify that whole the experience. Yeah, that's interesting. So when you're planning this stuff, have you done it outside of the convention, circuit?
Oh yeah, that's what we've been talking about. USP is it's all actual play stuff.
That's okay.
Right.
Got you.
That's all streaming.
That's awesome. That is really great. And so how are you tracking? Do you have like a giant wall of like string and pictures and how are you managing all that? Is it just
it's a lot of Google Docs. I'm big on I like looking at words to think about ideas. So I don't do as well with images connected together that way. My brain just doesn't process that information right. But it is a lot of, here's a recap of everything that's happened over the campaign. And please put in 3 to 6 bullet points about each of your episodes for major events that we need to know about. And that document is helpful on my end just for keeping things going. And eventually it will be helpful for people following along or just getting introduced to the story, because I plan on putting that doc together in a way that people can read so they can catch up, so they don't need to watch all 450 episodes of the show that we've done at this point. I just counted how many episodes we've done so far, and it was 442 on YouTube and 39 on Spotify for podcasting.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and that represents hours and hours of prep and all that other good stuff. Now, I guess this is a good question. When you look at the way that one of the things that have always sort of interested me and made me feel even a little melancholy is how many of the stories are told that you don't ever get to hear again, or that that they kind of live in a limbo of and people do watch old YouTube videos. Like, man, it's crazy how many people watch our actual plays. They really do like them. But how are you surfacing that information when it comes time for people to catch up? Is it a website kind of blog post? Is it a kind of a running thing somewhere that people can follow?
Yeah, at the moment, it's a recap blog post for everything that's happened in a given season of a show, where it's just, here is 2 pages about what you missed to catch up.
Right.
Because we love having all those episodes there, but that does make a very steep learning curve for new people trying to get into the story.
It does. At
the point.
When I find it, people will watch the earlier or the newer actual plays, and then once they get into the groove, they'll go back and check other stuff out. They'll want to see it for themselves. But
and it's interesting looking back on where we've how far we've come. You could tell sort of the comfort and the quality level has grown over all that we've learned over the last 6 years almost.
Well, let's talk about that. It also strikes me as an advanced community. You talked about, it's a great for building community, giving more people an opportunity to interact and engage and all that good stuff, and
Sure.
give you something to kind of follow and track. But I also imagine that there is some real hard lessons. When I say hard, I don't mean difficult, but I mean, like this is stuff
hard earned.
Yeah, hard earned. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So yeah, tell me about that. What were some of the things you picked up?
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole learning process, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
not even just from the technical perspective, or the players are more comfortable on camera than they were when they started off because they've
Right.
had the routine and the practice. But just having the ability as a game master to give up some power to other game masters, I think, is it's a very interesting exercise for a storyteller, because one of the things that I think new game masters struggle with a lot is ego death, where they have this great story that they've put together and like, I need to tell my story, my magnum opus, and that's just not the way game mastering works. It's a group storytelling experience.
Yeah. It
And
really goes against the grain of the nature of the exercise. Yeah.
Does.
yeah, and most GMs will be fortunate to have players in their games who are good storytellers that they can learn from. But inviting another game master into your creative space to talk about, okay, so this is the goal we want to sort of hit with the stories that we're telling. How can I help serve that for you, and how can you help serve that for me, and what can we learn from each other?
I would think that would be a really wonderfully collaborative environment, because game mastering can be such a sort of lonely business a lot of the time. You're busy putting together and prepping all of your game by yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean, hopefully you're getting, useful hooks and feedback from your players, but at the same time you don't want to spoil anything for them, so you're creating a lot of things behind the curtain. And it's really not until you're actually presenting the game that anyone else is interacting with it. So it must be nice occasionally to have other game masters to just bounce things off of and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this or going in this direction. What do you think of this? And just to sort of, share ideas and the like.
Oh yeah. I absolutely love that about this process, and the idea that you can also, that gives you an outlet for the secrets, right? Like, I can't hold on to a Christmas or a Christmas present longer than when I buy it.
You're terrible at it.
So not having somebody like, let me tell you this funny thing or this plot twist that I've come up with, or like, that's what I'm going to do to my players that your game master is not going to do to you.
I love that. And I also think that there is ultimately an impact on how many people then embrace becoming a GM and having that, because it's a different mindset. It's a different skill set applied in a very different way than just being a player. And I say just being, but I mean, it's okay just to enjoy. That's cool too. I like what Desmond says. I think very quickly GMs learn that their stories need to be written with open-ended questions rather than declaratives, or be prepared for that hero point to change that declarative into something very different, for Mutants Masterminds. And the curiosity, I think this is the thing. I really do believe that it's the secret sauce in everything that we do. If you're joyfully curious about what people are doing, it's gonna be fun and it's gonna be interesting, and it's gonna, it'll give players and GMs room to breathe. But Alex, when it comes time to bringing in somebody who is, let's say they're new, or newish, or new working with you, even, because that can be brand new. If a person's GM'd, let's say, I don't know, some other title, anything other than a superhero title, it's probably like starting over again when they kind of pick up a new game or they're working with a new GM. How do you maneuver that, or how do you go about recruiting that person? Like, do people just sort of fall out of the trees, or you're like, hey, you smell like a GM?
You smell like a GM. Just run over and grab them, pick them up, dust them off.
Exactly.
Right.
Fresh GM. Yeah.
It is true. It is definitely something. If you're running a situation like this, you do need to consider, even if this person is a good game master, are they somebody who is, adheres to the values I have as a game master, or is going to provide an equivalent experience to my players? I'm fiercely protective of the people I play with, because I know I know how hard it is to have bad gaming in your life, and I don't want that for anybody if I can avoid it. Yeah, recently actually we did bring in a new game master, but that was after years of them being a player with us. So I know sort of what it's Calvin. Calvin's going to be GMing our Legends of Tomorrow style spin-off Chrono Crisis, using some of the Chrono Crisis adventures and putting in some of his own stuff. And he let me play the Arctic Fox as the villain on the team. So excited about that.
Nice, very nice. Eric,
It's a very easy way to win me over is to bribe me.
Right.
Eric at North Founder Crew says, I've been told I stink as a GM. Maybe a different kind of stink.
Right.
Yeah, might be maybe. I'm not sure.
It's a good Game Master Musk.
Right. Build up a nice Game Master Musk.
You got that GM stank on you. Yeah, I like
But
that.
So understand, like bringing them in as a player, seeing what their sort of philosophy is, what they like in the game, seeing that they are collaborative and they're willing to work not with just the players at their table, but are willing to work with you as the GM. That's a huge thing for me, where I really love players who are like, here's this plot point that I would like to involve in the story. Or here's an NPC. I don't know what their deal is, but here you go. Make it work.
Game Musker. Boo. Gross. Gene says, well, I think the GM must talk about the story for their part of the game or their piece of the puzzle, which is kind of what you're touching on, Alex.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would, when somebody wants to come in, I do expect them to have a decent idea of what kind of story they want to tell and if it makes sense as part of the puzzle that we're building. It's also important to bring new players into the group.
Yeah. Alex, do you make use of like character surveys for the players, where you ask them things like, what is your character's greatest fear, or, what is the one thing they don't want everybody to know, or, any of those sort of juicy background details?
Oh yeah, I do include that with my my session 0 documents. I include a few specific questions about what's going on, and I do leave an open-ended area for what would you like to see as a player, or what are things that you don't want to see as a player. So if they like having questions that they can feed off of, they can give me answers to those questions, or if they're a little more freestyle, they can sort of drop off what they think is a good idea.
Got it. I like this idea, Desmond. It's got a product idea, some kind of co-GMing Mad Libs. I really like that. Owen Casey Stevens, my buddy, says, weirdly, my gaming history includes a lot of cases where other GMs and I share a world. Usually that meant I'd run one or more campaign in one location, and the other GMs would run a different campaign in other places on the world. And if we did a crossover, one GM took charge. Of course, one of those GMs ended up being my wife, so that worked out.
Right.
There you go. Who knows? If you get involved, you might find a wife or a partner or something. Nice. Interestingly,
we did recently survey our audience too. Our Patreon backers.
Oh, how did you do that? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, we created a form that was like, we've been doing this for 5 years. What shows do you like? What do you want out of like what the production that we do? What attracts you to certain shows to make you listen to them more? Or, if you could see more of one thing, what would it be? And yeah, that was very well. It was very well received, and we've gotten a lot of good usable feedback.
Any real surprises from that?
Yeah. What came out of it?
I think the most surprising one for me was people were like, "We want to see Alex as a player, not as a GM."
Well, they're probably feeling like, you're a lovely, fantastic, very talented GM, but I think they're feeling, oh, this is a great idea. Owen mentions, I was recently reminded of what I think is an awesome idea. Have players list 5 rumors about their character. Other characters might know, but 4 are true and 1 is a lie. Clever. I like that.
Stuff like that.
I do love.
We recently launched our own player-facing or audience-facing West Marches game as well. For people who support our Patreon in a specific tier, they get invited to play in the Heroes Incorporated game that I put together. Right now, I'm the only game master for that, but I'm looking to add some more GMs to it so that we can play more than just once a month. But basically, all of their PCs are employees of Heroes Incorporated, a gig economy superhero app. And whatever heroes are available on the day of the mission, they get sent off to go do stuff.
Clever. I like that.
Right.
I like that. Do they get tips?
They get reviews, but they're paid by Daedalus and Bowman.
I see. So, Alex, you
Please,
mentioned it.
rescue 5 stars.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, you've got a 2-star hero coming to save you.
Oh, not
I,
a 2-star hero.
I know. Oh, yeah. I hate Captain Musk.
That's like
Hey,
the
so go ahead. Sorry.
that was like the DC series 1-star squadron.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I was trying to remember the name of that. Hey, Alex, you mentioned a couple times values and some of the more, I'll say, they're the most difficult skills, but they're the softer skills that don't really kind of measure in a measuring cup. You know, you can't really say, you're 2 pints of this and 4 pints of friendly and, all that. What are you, for your own kind of definition, are looking for in somebody, or who do you encourage to be a GM if they show certain?
I think collaboration is probably my biggest desire in a player and a game master. Somebody who understands that this is a group activity, and the spotlight is meant to be passed around, and they see storytelling opportunities and they help their other players take advantage of those instead of stepping on other people's moments.
Yeah.
Kindness, of course, is always important. Like people who are fun to be around, people who are energetic and present in the game. But I think my most important thing is that spirit of collaboration, that spirit of just being excited about the medium of story that we're telling and seeing the opportunities here that aren't present in things like comic books or movies because of the interactive nature of what we do. Like, and the sort of unknown nature of how it's going to spill out. Like, we don't know if we're going to succeed. We don't know if we're going to fail.
Right.
But if we do fail, that doesn't mean it's over. What do we do when we fail? How do we go forward?
Right. Yeah. And how do we make this failure part of the story and not part of a shame spiral that people need to feel badly about because they've done something wrong technically or something, I love that. And real quickly, I want to say, okay, it's half hour in, wanted to just take a real quick break, just to say, look at our Kickstarter. I want to thank everybody for all the support. We did it. It is, it's right now. Here I am. Sorry. I had it all up and then I was like, I better close this tab. No, here we go.
Never close the tabs.
No, I know exactly. So we made it to $321,731, nearly 4,000 backers. Wow. Close. And it's very exciting. Now it goes into there's a whole process of surveys and things and stuff, and you'll be getting contacted if you're a backer, and have an opportunity to do some other pledging, late backer stuff later. Which not too far from now, I believe. But again, just our heartfelt thanks. I know you've already heard, kind of Steve and I when we did the end of campaign party, and just it was a real joy. I'm really excited about the content. I'm more excited about the fact that we get to box Alex up and send him off to everybody's home.
Right, it's gonna be great.
It'll be so fun. Get your Alex habit trail ready to go. Any kind of snack.
You want some fresh straw,
Yes, and fresh grass and straw.
Alex, I require enrichment in my enclosure.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want a bored Alex, because the bored Alex, the machinations.
Right.
Really, really I'm feeling the community. I'm feeling it. I'm real excited about it. Speaking of community, let me talk real quick about this. It's March.
Yes.
How did that even happen?
I know, right?
Look at all the things that are going on here. We've got, on the Mondays, Mumamo, but I want to draw your attention to something that I've done wrong, which is I put mixed bowls.
Never.
And so we're doing something different now.
Yes.
And it is, Steve, do you want to talk a little bit about what we're doing that's different? This is for the Cape and Cowl Club.
Yes. So now that the Kickstarter is concluded for the Cape and Cowl Club, I am doing a series of articles called Primetime, where I am basically taking folks backstage to look at the development process for the updated all new, all exciting 4th edition Earth Prime setting. And we've kicked things off. I kicked things off with an article last week, basically talking about the process and what we're doing and what's going on and what the future sort of articles are going to look like. And by popular demand, the initial next 3 articles are going to be a look at the members of the Freedom League in the present Earth Prime setting and who they are and what they're like and what we're keeping and what we're changing and just sort of a general look at the concepts behind that.
Very, very cool. I dig that quite a bit. And so that replaces the M&M mix-up poll, and we're doing those. Am I right to say once a week?
Right now, I'm doing primetime articles once a week on
Yeah.
Wednesdays, and we'll see how that pace goes.
Yeah.
Right now there's a lot to say. As we get through a lot of the major stuff, that will probably diminish a bit. And of course, I will actually have to go and write this stuff that I'm talking about.
That's right.
Put my money
and
where my mouth is.
It is an example of the kind of ever-evolving nature of the Cape and Cowl Club. And what is the Cape and Cowl Club? Well, so, we've got the Atomic Think Tank, and basically it's a community hub. You come and hang out, you find your friends, you find your GM, you find your game, find some stat blocks. I'm telling you, there are about 1,000 bazillion in there, written by the community. We'll talk more about that in later in the program when we talk with Devious and get tuned into what's in the tank. But the Cape and Cowl Club is a membership group. It's the only thing that charges, and that everything else is free in the tank. But the Cape and Cowl Club is a special. It's $8 a month. You can pay $8 a month. You can pay it in a year. If you paid it in a year, you get 1 free month, 2 free months, I believe.
2 free months, yeah.
2 free months, and you get to do things like get Steve's primetime articles. You also get to join a developer chat. It's where you hang out with Alex, Steve, and I, and we just give you all the skinny, all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. We'll end up distributing previews and early looks at stuff. That means any Mutants and Masterminds product, the people who are in the Cape and Cowl Club, they'll get to take a look at it before it's even ready for editing. I mean, like it's early looks, which is really fun stuff.
Indeed. And you get a built-in discount on the Green Ronin store. So
15% off.
You are picking up, our regular Green Ronin products, your membership will pay for itself.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, absolutely. And then you also get picked to do things like be in Alex's 5th part of the actual play that he's running. It was only supposed to be a one-shot.
In part from Alex's one-shot adventure.
That's right.
This is Love is in the Arrow Part 2, Part 2. We're
part
just
2
very
of
close.
yeah. I love it. And Alex, we wouldn't expect any less. And so there's that, and then we have the workshop, and the workshop is, as you can see, it's on the 27th. It is an opportunity for you to participate in a movement. We're creating a bunch of courses that will be hosted by people from the Cape and Cowl Club, community leaders, streamers, and all kinds of folks to create more GMs in the world.
Very relevant to our topic today.
Quite, absolutely. And so really excited about that. And we are working out all the details, but on those dates, on the workshop dates, we will meet with Alex and Steve and share kind of the progress that we've made. There's going to be a call for people who want to do some VO work. There's going to be a call for people who want to be trained to be a trainer. There'll be boot camps that happen on the weekends in our Discord. And of course, our Discord is the GRAD, which is the Green Ronin Atomic Assembly Discord. It's the official Discord of Green Ronin. And all of that stuff is right around the corner. The Cape and Cowl activities continue to expand and evolve, and largely due to the feedback and the things that people really enjoy. So when we find that you like a thing, we do more of that. Awesome. Thanks, guys. And again, thank everybody for your support of that Kickstarter. That was lovely to see.
Yes, was much appreciated.
So when we're talking about a multi-GM scenario, what are outside of trapping people in the Alex time warp where you are just living that story for the rest of your days. What are
Welcome
some
to the hyperbolic chamber.
the hyperbolic? I love that. What are some things that words to the wise, some advice, some thoughts on how to kind of get beyond the troubles, or at least embrace them to a degree that they're not troubling?
Yeah. Sort of like we said, regular communication, setting up meetings
Agreed.
with the other game masters in the group to go over sort of what are your plans for your game in the next coming weeks. Like, do you have any specific adventure types that you want to get into? Can we differentiate the kind of adventures that we're running? So if I'm running a combat heavy adventure, maybe you've got an investigation heavy adventure. So there's lots of options for our players to sign up for. If there's a corner of the universe that we're sharing that you're more interested in, how do I get involved in that? Is that something that I can help with? Or is it, if I wanted to visit that space, would you be willing to come and run a game with the group that I'm typically using with? Or just lots of things like that, lots of communication.
Yeah, well, let's say you got all that down, and you found the perfect GMs that resonate with you on the perfect frequency. They got that fresh GM smell. They're all, and now it's showtime, right? What are some of the things that you bumped into that people may not expect that would be? Let's even take it from the multi-streaming on different days, but also that one event where they're all there. Like, how do you manage that?
There was that one time I destroyed San Francisco with the sandstorm without asking the West Coast guy if that was okay.
Right.
Luckily, though, he didn't need to go there, so it was fine. Sandstone was allowed to do Sandstone's thing with Gatekeeper. But on the day of, so this would be more for like our big event at the convention. Or if you were going to be running a big event with your friends in an Airbnb or whatever, and you've got like 4 groups going all at once, and you're having a big gaming weekend away from home.
Yeah.
We have kits that we put together for the game masters that include everything they need. So note packs, snacks, game GM screens, inserts, pencils, all that fun stuff, dice if they need extra dice. We have a big, when everybody gets there, we have a big sign up sheet where we're like, what kind of game are you interested in? Where we break down just very briefly the type of game that we have going on. Check in takes about an hour between making sure everybody who is there with a friend is able to stay with that friend if they require that, because some people can't be with a bunch of strangers without having an emotional support person.
Yep.
And we try to be conscious of that.
Yeah.
And we try to accommodate that, especially because we have tables that swap in the middle of the story for our event. You don't necessarily want to do that for your game if you're not comfortable with it yet. And then during that sign-in stage, we have a GM come out and sort of explain the overall, what's Mutants and Masterminds? How does it work? What can you expect tonight? While the rest of us are in the back assigning characters and assigning tables and figuring out where the swaps are going to take place.
I like that.
Then we start playing. Everybody gets to their first table. They start playing as they would any other game. And at a certain point, things get screwy. Things move around.
But one thing that's kind of interesting, do you do this kind of a thing? Let me vamp for you. Jeremiah says, so the subject is multi-GMs. Has anyone brought up plot committees? In LARPs, there are several people being GMs, and they tend to run it a bit like a writer's room. I could see that being a real fun process, a real fun energy. I've not really participated in LARPing, though I have often wanted to take a stick to somebody that I see outdoors, but it's really not about gameplay. Yeah, that's what do you think, Alex? Have you ever done that kind of a writer's room sort of vibe set up, like a plot committee?
Yeah, that's kind of what our show production process looks like.
Yeah.
Like, we knew that we were doing the Preserver Stone story arc, so we all sat down together and we said, what stones are you interested in? What stones what would be a good fit for your players? I knew I had 2 twins from the Far Side city, so Moonstone was probably going to wind up under my purview. And there's a Star Knight in one of the other groups, so naturally the Sunstone was going to be there.
Right.
And since this, there's a Star Knight PC, it makes sense that Blackguard is going to be there as well to
Right.
make
Yeah.
Nightstone a good fit. And just generally having that big conversation about what stones are going to wind up with which parties, and then what do we do when they all have them.
I like that. But what a fun opportunity to sort of get the creativity fire stoked and have people kind of bouncing ideas back and forth. And I find it, when people are embracing their role as a GM, they start to say, gosh, I've always wanted to, or it'd be really fun if we could. And the ideas just kind of get big and fun and interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
And the part of my brain that says don't do that is just broken. So I do it even when,
That's
when it's a
right.
lot of
You
work.
do
It sounds
it.
like
Yeah, exactly. I really like this as well. Owen brings up, I think that this is a regular housekeeping kind of thing to just not just be prepared and educate people on that. Hey, we're not going to do that, even if accidental. Like, let's be prepared to say, hey, But it's a frank talk with players about different GMs with different styles and different rulings, and it doesn't matter if Alex does this at his table, and why are you not doing it? It's because they're doing it differently. They're a different GM.
I think it's important for the GMs to review those sorts of rulings after the fact and decide what things are going to go into the house rules for the all of the campaigns, and what things were just a one-time. Well, yes, I ruled that at the table at that time, but that's not necessarily a precedent for anything.
Right, yeah. Oh, and John brings up that in a multi-GM campaign, there needs to be an agreement not to break each other's toys. And Alex, you kind of touched on that at the beginning of the show, the idea that there's, you are a guest when you have transitioned into this new timeline, and you don't want to go wrecking the joint unless it's kind of part of the deal. But
yeah. And I'm a big fan of having sort of the big overarching plot beats laid down. Like, we all need to get preserver stones by the end of our season, but leaving most of the rest of the information up to the GM's discretion.
Yeah.
Like understanding what characters you're going to use in your game, but not really, we don't really meddle in each other's story arcs.
Right.
So,
and I imagine you kind of stick with, just like you do with your players, the guideline of improv, that it's yes and that it's whatever the other GMs have done is a fact, but you can build on that and say yes, and this thing is also true.
Yeah, I did almost blow up the moon last week, though, but Centuria interposed the death ray.
Owen brings up that not
in true superhero fashion.
Is referred to as "don't blow up the moon" in some collaborative fiction groups I've been a part of.
See,
I think that's the other thing to remember is that collaborative fiction, creative collaborations in this way have been happening for decades, and there are a lot of very well organized, very well sort of a lot of approving has been done to this concept, and it probably wouldn't hurt to go visit and check out some of those places, whether it's just research and checking out how someone may run a multi creative collaborative event, or in collating stuff for you to be able to share and hand out to people that are participating with you.
Somebody mentioned earlier making sure that you have GMs who can accommodate different tastes for players. That is something we started doing with the mega event out of necessity and safety, but would be a good benefit to your friend, you in your own group. Like I won't ever say who. We have one GM for the mega event that is just for problem players.
Yes.
Just put them in a little bubble so they can have fun, run around and punch things, but they don't want to contribute to the story. They don't want to be cooperative. They get to go play at that table
for a myriad of reasons, and good ones and interesting ones. But whether it's neurodivergence or what have you, they're going to be people with a different sensibility. I think that's very, very smart, and it is a lot like running a summer camp. Because it's sort of like you got some kids who are just they're gonna be the counselor in training. They're gonna be helping lead, and then you have kids that are just like, I'm gonna go swimming and I've got all my clothes on. It's all kinds of fun stuff. And I think the more you spend time thinking about how you're going to adjust and shift to meet the needs of the people that are coming to play, the more enjoyment everyone will get out of it.
Yeah, and that one GM, he is the chillest GM ever. He is calm. He will roll with whatever is thrown his way, and he won't get upset about it. And This, and I have the benefit of having been a game master at Origins for 14 years now, and I've built up a following, so I recognize names on the sign-up sheet, and I know who the problem players are when they show up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
And I shouldn't say problem players. Everybody comes to
I'm gonna
role-playing
say
games for different
challenging.
reasons.
Challenging, or yeah. I mean, the challenge, the problem sometimes comes in when different play styles meet and don't agree, and that can be challenging. But I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
And Mastermind Pook, he does know he's the problem player GM. He volunteered for the position.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, there's no way he doesn't know. As the person who has, always been
If he didn't know before, he would very quickly.
Yeah, and I will say, as the I ran summer camps for a long time before moving away from nonprofit work, and I will say that the person who gets all not the bad kids, the troubled, not even troubled kids, the challenging youth knows that that's what they're doing, and often I will say this, at times can see yourselves in them. So that always helps, to be of them. You just made the list. That's awesome. Let's see.
We also, at the mega event, one other thing that makes running it a lot easier is we have the table GMs who run the games and tell the stories. And then we have what we call runner GMs, who are the GMs who bring information from table to table when something impacts this group that might impact the other group, they'll run the information from one GM to the other. I also generally give them something chaotic they can do to add additional wrinkles to the game. So this most recent mega event we did was a Titan City event that took place during the aberration, which is when all the laws of magic don't apply anymore. So they had a random table that they could come in, they can give a hero point to one of the players and then roll a random thing to happen to bring just a little bit of extra chaos to the things that were going on.
Yeah, Jeremiah brings a bit of the a finer point to this, and and I think that we're own is like, there are some problem play. You're going to run into friction and problems, and it'll come from all angles, and so you got to be ready for that, of course. But I do like the notion of really being thoughtful about the kinds of stories that you want to tell at that table.
Yeah,
I thought I turned you off.
Very.
Once again, you've caused panic amongst the people watching.
I literally turned it off.
Everybody's checking their phone.
Yes, it's a call from me, friends. So I love that, and I think that there could be opportunities for more political elements or facets on one table, and I always find the romance subplots to be a little problematic at times, but hey, whatever. If that's fair.
Owen brings up that there are indeed problem players out there.
Yes,
right. Yeah.
And the way to get around them is just have very clear. These are the
boundaries.
rules here.
Yeah.
If you want to participate in this event, you have to be a decent person and adhere to be civilized, right? And we've had trouble before. We had we had an argument in our first event because somebody asked somebody what their pronouns were, and they got very upset about that and yelled at a little girl, which having a chain of authority for who goes and deals with that is very helpful if you are planning on having a big event with the public.
Yes.
Yeah. And also I think making sure that the tone and tenor of the entire experience is informing all of the communications from day one, like from what you're like, if it's a convention based situation, there's going to be write-ups for it for people to decide if they're going to want to be a part of it. All that stuff is a great opportunity for you to guide people into an experience that they can suffer diversity for a minute or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as an event planner, you have a responsibility to the people who are working on your team to make sure that they are comfortable and safe.
Yes.
That's your first responsibility.
Yes.
And that's the harder thing to teach and train. But when you're in the space, there's just a moment where you're like, I'm getting a little spidey sense that there's a problem brewing here or some trouble brewing there, or even just to sit with your team and just say, hey, when there is trouble, how do we do this? How do we maneuver through this and sort of unpack it in a way that isn't someone running and screaming on fire and someone else, throwing fists or whatever. There's ways to mitigate that at the outset.
Yeah, and there's a difference between a player who gets bored when they're not in a fight scene and they need to get into a fight scene, and a player who is prejudiced or
Right.
Or
is
wants to
telling
fight.
everybody
It's
how to run
outright
their
hostile.
character.
Yeah.
I do like this too. And Owen, you bring up a very good point. And that I think too is another empowerment opportunity for you when you are, when you've got this multiple GM sort of experience kicking off. And that is to just really empower people to say, no, I'm sorry, we're not doing that today.
Yeah. The very important words for those kinds of spaces is we don't do that here.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And no is all you need to say sometimes. That's a no.
Yeah. No is a full sentence.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't say his name out loud, but my problem player GM has just popped in to announce himself. But I will keep it a secret in case somebody goes back to watch the stream to be like, "Who's the?
Hey,
if
wait
I
a
wind
minute.
up at this table, am I the problem?" Although that's an amount of self-reflection that
right,
you wouldn't have
just
if
people
you were
being
at
like,
this table.
"Am I the problem?"
Right. Yeah, those folks. Maybe at times, maybe that crew is not the most introspective.
Yeah.
So, listen, we're almost done, and I have about 20,000 other questions that I want to ask.
I know, right?
But an interesting conversation, and one that we're going to explore further in the Cape and Cow Club as we develop some, tools and resources and things for GMs, and I think that process will shake out some really interesting opportunities for people to really explore what it means to do big events, and it's really similar, coordinating a training for GMs to bring on more GMs, and that whole thing is like a whole, it's a whole room full of GMs.
Yeah.
And so,
They're replicating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We hope
They do that.
Yeah, they do that. But
and I'll add, just if you are looking for a great example of how this works in real time, the Freedom City Discord is a great.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for a long time.
For
They've run
years.
a ton of games, and
they
if
got
you're
it
curious
down
about
to
what something like this looks like.
Organized, and it's great. Really lovely. Okay, well, how about this, friends? We are reaching the end of this portion of our program where we'll be jumping into what's in the tank with our buddy Devious. What's going on in the Steve Kenson cinematic universe?
Well, as I mentioned, I'm working on the primetime articles, giving folks a behind-the-scene looks at the development of the New Earth Prime setting over at the Cape and Cowl Club. And I will provide just a touch of bonus content for our friend Gene to say that Centuria is not getting killed off and is going to be discussed in my 4th article towards the end of the month.
And before then, Steve,
of course, you get a look at everything. Yeah, and you already know.
And I gotta say,
but it's so
nearly
cool.
every stream since 4E was announced. But so good to assuage.
And I am working on my own development pass on the Masterminds manual, which is our Game Master resource book, timely enough, that's following the 4th edition Heroes Handbook. It is a hefty book. So I think folks will get a lot of use out of it, and it will be a very, very helpful resource. And then it's going to be, getting together with the Green Ronin crew, and we've got a whole bunch of Kickstarter content to schedule out and get to work on.
Lovely. Awesome. Alex, how about you? What's going on in your world? Plenty of things, I'm imagining.
Yeah, I mean, most pressingly, everything this week is pressing. It's terrible. I don't know how this happened. Tonight, I will be doing some 4E character write-ups on my office hours. I'll be doing some Justice League team members. So if you want to come over and hang out, and as I build Superman and... Oh, no. Did I disappear?
Oh, you
did momentarily. But...
Yeah, you came right back.
Am I back? Okay.
You're back.
So yeah, I'll be working on Justice League team members tonight, converting them to 4E because I have to run games this weekend, Friday and Saturday at Buckeye Game Fest. I'll be running a Guardians of the Galaxy game on Friday night called the Phantom Payload, where they have to go. The Guardians have to break into the Phantom Zone and rescue, or not the Phantom Zone, the Negative Zone. I spoiled the twist.
Wrong zone.
Because they are actually going to the Phantom Zone. I'm just being silly because I can't help myself. And then I'm running Mars Attacks for the Justice League on Saturday, where the White Martians come to Metropolis and cause trouble. Wednesday, I've got part 1 of the season finale for Guardians of Haven. Thursday, I've got a series finale for the Titan City Serials podcast called Paper Cut, where we finally figure out what happened to poor little Melvin in that story. And then I'll be at the convention this weekend, and I'm working on the Titan City Gazetteer, and it's all work all the time around here.
Yes, all the things.
Office hours tonight, an hour from now.
About 30 minutes from now.
30 minutes from now. Okay, good. Okay, yeah.
It'll be over at twitch.tv/Untold Stories Project.
Lovely. And then someone's asking about Adepticon. I'm not familiar.
I don't believe we'll be at Adepticon.
No, not to my knowledge.
Well, there we go. A lot of stuff going on. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Always lovely to hang out with you on a lovely Monday to talk about crazy concepts like this. We're going to jump over to Devious and talk a little bit about what's going on in the tank. So we'll let you guys go. Have a great day.
Take care, everybody.
Like I said, we've got all kinds of good stuff cooking on the community calendar. Look at all this stuff that you can participate in. It's a good time for all. Make sure that you join the Grad. That's our official Discord server. You'll find the link in chat. I really want to encourage you, if you're watching on demand, make sure you're paying attention to the live chat. A lot of good stuff a lot of not good stuff goes on there too. I mean, not bad. I mean, just shenanigans. I'm just trouble. But you know who's never a bother, never troublesome, always a good buddy, always a good pal? It is our friend Devious Hearts. Hi, buddy.
Hi, how's it going?
That's going okay. I mean, good. It's going great.
Groovy.
Well,
what is this about me never being in trouble? I'm one of those problem players.
Ooh, sir, you are so much trouble.
I'm one of those. But teacher, on page 73, it says that rule doesn't apply.
Oh my God! Anyway, I'm trying to imagine you as a youngster. Oh, troubled.
My sisters always tell me that I was. They always look at my pictures as a baby boy, and they're like, "You were such a darling child. What the heck happened?"
Well, we gotcha. You're still a darling human. Tell us all about what's in the tank, won't you?
I will. First of all, congratulations to Green Ronin Publishing. I mean, you guys' Kickstarter, it blew it out of the water.
Yes.
3,670 backers that pledged $321,731. That was over 643% funded. Wow.
Yeah, good stuff.
Oh, amazing. And I put up there, those the 4th edition previews still available right there on the What's in the Tank if you want to go take a look at them.
Cool.
In the Freedom City Library today, we have The Raven and the Rabbit and 5, and it's a love story, a disgraced knight. It's from Chris Davies, and he's put like 4 characters in the Aegis files, but he basically told the story of how they interlink in this article in the Freedom City Library.
Nice.
Grace Blight storms the temple to confront a corrupt religious leader who has manipulated events to trap her and her witch lover, Hrafen. God, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hrafen. He thinks he has already arranged Hrafen's death, but during an eclipse, Hrafen arrives anyway. It's very poetic. Check it out. Kind of shades of Lady Hawk, if anybody remembers that.
I do not, but I do want to say, as we're looking in as Devious talks about all the great resources here, this is stuff that you can check it out. Like you can take it and use it in your own way, change it and adjust it and make it fit.
And it's all free.
All of this, every last little bit of this is free. So come in and get some. Yeah.
And here's more Raven and the Rabbit from Chris Davies. Matt Mabry's in there also with more of his Oz factor.
Hey, nice.
A great little campaign idea to have a kind of a Wizard of Oz theme. And they're all these characters who, there's a 10, kind of a 10-man, the Shaggy Man, the Cowardly Lion, all gathered together by the man behind the curtain.
Yeah. Right. The Shaggy Man, the Scooby Man.
Exactly. The Tin Soldier, the Shaggy Man. Exactly. But events, of course, we've got Managing Multi-GMs today, soup to nuts. We've got office hours in, I guess, 20 minutes. And he's making Superman. I was hoping to ask, I didn't think about it, whether he was going to be making the PL10 baby Superman, beginner Superman, or if he was going for the full PL-15 mover of worlds,
Well,
which
there's a
version of
whole
Superman
program
should
that
he
you
make?
can go and ask him in a half hour and join him over
That's
at that
right. You got to
link.
check it out.
Yeah.
For Guardians of Haven, it's coming up on Wednesday, the 11th. Tortoise and the Hare. Guardians are in the end game now, and the Axiom Stone has revealed itself. Good stuff. Tune in there. Also, Monster Camp coming up on Thursday. Podcast for Titan City Serials. Great stuff there. Birds of a Feather from
That's fun.
Untold Stories Project. There, Alex gets to play there, playing Elvis Pexley, a kind of an Elvis impersonating rooster. Definitely worth a check out. And also this weekend, the Buckeye Game Fest. Alex is running 2 games. There are still 2 tickets available for that. I've dropped the link in there for you. You can check
Nice.
it out if you're in the area. And of course, on Monday, March 16th, we've got another episode of Golden Squad. And
Yeah.
that's Mr. Luke Fellman getting out there and getting in the good stuff for us.
Right
And
on.
that
Lots.
is what is in the tank.
That is what's in the tank, friends. Thank you, Devious, for all of that information. I truly appreciate it. Friends, if you want to get your own connection to what's going on in the tank, all you have to do is go to atomicthinktank.com. If you're not a member already, you'll get asked 3 questions. Answer my questions 3. They're very simple. And if you can't do it, you're out. But you can try again. But just answer them. Just answer them. Even if I'm not sure is a good answer. One of those answers better be yes, and you'll know when you read the question. It's important. But do all that, and then you get to participate in all the good stuff. And you get to, not only do you get to borrow and check all the, you can do some keyword searches and find the perfect villain, the perfect hero, and all that good stuff. But you can also contribute. You can write your own stuff up and share it with folks in the community. It's a lot of fun. And it's also the great place to get information about other Green Ronin games powered by the Age system or otherwise. It's a great place and a lot of fun. And I've got it on good authority that there are going to be more engagements and opportunities for people who are fans of Age, the adventure game engine. And speaking of which, I do believe we did not include... On Thursdays, we do Thursdage. It's a program about the adventure game engine. Right now, we're working on this setting that is out of this world to the degree that it's, cataclysmic. Dragon crashes on a planet for eons and lives there, and then people have moved into its mouth and its back, and it's crazy. It's fun. But then
we also didn't mention your office hours.
I know, I got a whole spiel. And then after Thursdage, 1 hour later, we do office hours. That's 5 p.m. Pacific, and it's just a Zoom call. You join in, and we have all kinds of amazing conversation. We, maybe there's something that you're like, hey, Troy, you forgot this, or hey, I've got an idea, or I'm starting a live stream. Whatever it is, come and join us. Let's talk about it. You don't even have to have an appointment. You can jump in and hang out. You can lurk in the background and just sort of listen in. It's always entertaining. It's always fun, and everybody.
Or hey, Troy, does this coloration on my neck look like cancer? Good question.
Yes. Bring your rashes, any kind of, legal questions, tax preparation. I mean, anything really that, all that stuff you want me to worry about. So
Troy is there for it.
I am indeed. But that, my friends, is that. Thank you so much for hanging out. It's always fun. We have a good time, don't we, Devious?
We do.
We do indeed. But now it is time to say goodbye.
Bye-bye.